of record. So it's a felony for him because it's his third theft charge. But even so, it's not like he grabbed it's a Mountain Dew. He didn't grab it and run. I mean, he did put money down for it. I mean, he put $2 down. He thought he was paying, a discounted price. So hopefully he's got a good lawyer that can prove that it was all a big misunderstanding.
Or a judge with some common sense.
Yeah, exactly. 2 men in Mississippi recently decided to take a vehicle. There was just this vehicle sitting there that said, free car. Okay, and the keys were left inside, so these guys thought, yes, steal. We're going to take this car, and it can be ours. So they did exactly that, only to later discover that there was a dead body in the trunk of the car. Yeah, so these guys, there was a man that drove the car all the way to a family member's home, and that's when he decided, well, maybe I'll check out the rest of the vehicle, opened the trunk, and boom, there was a dead body. The body was identified of that of a 34-year-old man that had, I guess, been there for several days and was also found without clothes. Ew.
Nice stench.
I mean, that's exactly what I thought. Like, wouldn't you smell that?
Yeah.
Like, oh, free car. The second you open the door, be like, ooh, no, I'm going to pass on this free car because it stinks. But, I guess when you're in need, you take whatever you can get. You might have heard this. East Point Middle School actually had to switch over to virtual classes instead of in person after a ton of teachers resigned last week. The principal explained to parents that this was going to happen because of these staff shortages. They did not have enough qualified teachers to teach their kids in person. So for at least this week, kids are going to be at home while I'm guessing they're going to try to find employees, which is probably going to be really difficult.
Very difficult.
To find, obviously, certified teachers that want to work and can work and fill these positions. They do expect to resume in-person school on September 27th. So I'm sure parents are eager for that because it sounds like they didn't offer any, help for people who need childcare or after-school care. Or, I mean, virtual learning can be good when you're prepared for it. But when it's sprung on you like this, it can be very, very stressful all around. There was a really wild incident that took place over the weekend. It actually happened on Sunday in Oak Park on the side of the road on I-696. So police were actually called to the scene. A car had run out of gas, but it turns out there's way more to the story. The couple inside the vehicle were both drunk and had gotten into a fight. When they got there, the man actually was bleeding from some cuts that I'm guessing his wife, girlfriend, or whoever he was riding with, did to him.
Right.
But as they were driving there, they were in an argument. The man actually jumped out of the moving vehicle. Then she stopped, got back into the car, and that's when they ran out of gas. They were both charged with possessing a firearm while intoxicated, and the woman driving the vehicle was also charged with drunk driving. There was 2 kids in the back seat, so she's also charged with child endangerment as well. Pretty wild. What's crazy too is that this guy also said, you know what, I have a gun and I've got a license to have it, but I lost it because I jumped out of the moving vehicle. So police also had to go track down this man's gun.
Good thing she ran out of gas.
It is very,
because
very
there could have
good.
been severe harm to other people.
Yes, and those kids in those back seats, for sure.
All right, thank you, Heather. 97.1.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AMI 50 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook at Motor City Casino. Sports betting in a sports setting. Prepare for flooding around Metro Detroit this morning that could be affecting some freeways, ramps, and surface streets. Also, power outages could be another issue. Make every play count with NFL live betting at FanDuel Sportsbook at Motor City Casino. Live betting lets you in on the action all game long. Even if you missed opening kickoff, you can still place all your favorite bets from moneyline, point spreads, over-unders, and more. Visit today or download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. September is World Ozone Month, so it's a great month to get rid of all your aerosol sprays and harsh cleaning products. One Thing is brought to you by GFL Environmental, Green for Life.
10 grand in cash makes for amazing memories. So get to Second and Eagles Landing for September to remember. Every Saturday starting at 5 p.m., we're giving away $1,000 to one lucky player every hour. Then
Cherokee L, the most awarded SUV ever, now comes with 3 rows that seat up to 7 passengers. Plenty of inventory to choose from, or build the vehicle the way you want it and place your order today. Hurry in to a Metro Detroit Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealer. See dealer for details. Call 1-877-RAM-5722 for Ram lease details. Requires dealer contribution. Must qualify for lease through Chrysler Capital. Extra charge for miles over 10,000 per year. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 9/30/2021.
Dell's semi-annual sale is the perfect opportunity for a significant business upgrade. Save up to 45% on Dell computers built for business with Windows 10 Pro. Plus, enjoy special pricing on Dell docks, monitors, servers, and more, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Succeed anywhere with Windows 10 Pro. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor today to find the right tech for your business with fast, free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. My stomach.
Don't worry, I've got you covered.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
What's that?
It's Pepto-Bismol chews.
Pepto-Bismol's in a chew?
Yeah, they taste great and provide fast relief. And you can always have Pepto-Bismol handy.
Let me try it.
Try Pepto-Bismol chews for fast relief.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-568-2790. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-568-2790. 800-568-2790. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you're testing your blood sugar 4 or more times per day, injecting insulin 3 or more times per day, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. A CGM can immediately reduce pain. It's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Plus, get free shipping, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. Call now to receive your new continuous glucose monitor at little or no out-of-pocket cost.
Paid for by U.S. Medical Supply.
Call 800-611-6638. That's 800-611-6638. Again, 800-611-6638. That's 800-611-6638.
Early betting tips give you the edge. Your first source for the day's angles, takes, analysis, and more. The Daily Tip from BetQL, presented by BetMGM. Weekday morning, 6 to 9 on the Bet 1270 and the Odyssey app.
You're listening to the best of Stoney and Jansen with Heather on 97.1 The Ticket. Lions lose to Green Bay and Lambeau. Ugly, 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 especially in the second half. The Lions actually win. After 17-14, and then they didn't score in the second half. 35-17 in the final. The defense was the main culprit. Offense didn't do much in the second half. They looked pretty good in the first half, but man, oh man, you got to be able to stop it. I know it's a league of scoring and things like that, but when your defense is really that bad, you're not going to win very many games. And I just don't see how it can get much better except for internal improvement by young players, or, and I say this very sheepishly, the new system, the veterans buy in more or pick it up, because right now it's bad. I mean, look, the Packers didn't run for a lot of yards, but there was really not much defensive penetration from the line, except a few times that was more in the passing game when Rockers and Williams got to Rodgers. But if the Packers wanted to run the ball all night, they probably could have.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to get 3 sacks. The Lions were against Aaron Rodgers, but there was, and I don't think it's buy-in from the veterans. I think they've all bought in, but it's a matter of execution. I don't know that Anzalone, no matter how much you want to say buy-in or not buy-in, he can't cover a wide receiver. We saw that last night, and he can't run down Aaron Jones on the perimeter. It's just not going to happen. He doesn't have that ability. So it's more of a personnel, and that's where you're going to see, okay, how do they force some of those outside runs back in? Again, you're talking about from support from the corner position, an area right now where there's not a great strength.
Right.
It's just,
especially because of injury. It wasn't great to begin with, but with Akuda out for the year and the injury to Melifano, I mean, we don't know the exact specifics, but Campbell's after the game said it don't look good. I mean, he's going to be out for a while.
but that's my point
right.
in regards to, Okuda's never been great in our estimation of man coverage or coverage at all downfield. One of the things he has done good is come up and support the run. Now you don't even have that, which is exposing more of what you're seeing from the linebacker position in the lack of speed, the lack of ability to get to the edge.
Which is why Derek Barnes has to play more. He did not participate in one defensive snap last night. It was special teams only. And look, it's 2 games, especially for some of these, younger players. They need time. We have to be a little patient with the younger players. I'm not patient, with Anzalone or Jamie Collins or the Trey Flowers or those guys. No, they're veteran. The young guys, I think we have to be patient. And that's just that's the way it is.
Just again, the reality check of what Bob Quinn did with this franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly feel like he got off relatively unscathed.
Well, he did, except losing his job. I mean, yes.
I keep saying this. He was just as bad as Millen, just didn't get the extension.
Right. And he lost his job for it. Look, most people.
But then, I don't hear fans I never heard fans really go off on him that much.
Well, the reason I think, I think the reason is, Gov, because he was so far in the, he was so far removed from the limelight by his own choice. I mean, he'd come on, once a year after the draft or maybe twice a year. And that's all people really ever heard from Bob Quinn. So all the venom.
He took a 9-7 playoff contending team and turned it into an expansion roster.
All the venom I'm trying to explain is said at Patricia because Patricia was in the forefront. That's the reason. Bob Quinn, you're absolutely right. Nobody's going to deny. And even last year, when we were going through the who's worse, Quinn or Patricia, I always said it was Quinn because as bad as Patricia was, he can only coach what you have on the field to a certain extent. And they did not have a lot of talent last year. They don't have a lot of talent this year. It's just going to, like with our other teams, I know football's different because you can rebuild a little quicker in football. It's going to take patience. And how can you be saying it takes patience when we haven't, won a playoff game since 1991? I get that. But to sit and, rip Campbell and Holmes right now seems ludicrous to me. Just let's wait and see how the team progresses. Young players get better, and if the coach seems competent. That's all I want from this.
To your point, Stoney, when you're talking about, and to yours as well, Gov, about Bob Quinn not getting the responsibility that he deserves for this. Anytime that he insulated himself very well. When we heard at the beginning of his tenure, when he let Caldwell go and hired Patricia, we're better than a 9-16. He's been roasted for that, and he's talked about that. Hey, and he also said, I've watched more film on T's Tabor than anybody else. He's been roasted for that. Every time that he spoke about something, and it was whether it was Jared Davis in the draft pick, or it was, a number of different picks that he's had, Jeff Okuda, he's been roasted for that, but he's been more insulated than Matt Patricia was simply because he never put himself in front in the media's eye.
Right, he didn't wear a pencil in public behind his ear either.
I just think he should be one of the highest public enemy number ones in Detroit sports history.
You're right.
I really do.
He should be up there. There's no doubt
You just
about it.
don't hear the outcry from it. There
Right.
should be a Quinn Million Man March.
Well, he's gone already, so you're not going to march for him. But yes, there should have been. You're absolutely right. Yes, Quinn, Millen, Randy Smith. That's the three. That's the trifecta, right? Am I missing anybody?
Russ Thomas.
I don't think.
Russ Thomas. Well, at least they went to the playoffs in his tenure at times. They didn't win it. Or except he was still technically around and running the league. Kevin in Rochester, what's up?
I just wanted to make sure that we talked about the absurdity of the intentional grounding call. When I'm 44, I've been watching football for a long time, and I've never seen a call with a debate between a fumble and a forward pass because of, the influence of the defender, and then they correctly call it an incomplete pass, and then they throw a flag for intentional grounding. Chalk up another thing where it doesn't happen to anybody else but the Lions. So just want to make sure we get that out there, because it was right up there with all the other absurd calls that go against the Lions that we're not going to be able to explain. Luckily, it didn't have any effect on the game, but that was a bad one.
No, it could have. That was in the second quarter. I'm looking at my play sheet right now. It was 3rd and 9 at the Green Bay 49, and the intentional grounding brought it back and made it a 4th down play back at the Lions 32. So yeah, they still were going to punt probably, but it was still, they still lost a lot of field position. And then, well, actually, Green Bay went 3 and out on that too. So you're right, but that was a weird call.
It wasn't weird. The caller's right. I'm glad he pointed that out, because I kind of forgotten about it. That's horrific. The ball, the defender affected the throw.
Yes.
It's unbelievable, and he's exactly right. That's the worst intentional grounding call in the history of football.
I know, and I remember Hayden and Eli were just because the way they don't go nuts, but they were very critical. I enjoyed that broadcast. I thought they were so much better than the regular game broadcast, because it was just they were pointing out some interesting things, and coverages. It was nice to watch. It was a nice change.
I didn't watch it long enough to. I turned it on.